Situation. You have a woman who calls 911 to say her grandson was just run over. In the 911 call, she says he was run over by an officer. Now, her grandson was 38-year-old Anthony Ward, who is actually wanted for parole violations, and this investigation is being handled by the Belleville police. He was actually run over by an employee of the Village of Butler. So the police chief in Belleville is handling the investigation. Let's take you there live.
77-year-old Mary Hunter out of Butler, and she was the operator of the vehicle. In the front passenger side of the vehicle was a 37-year-old Anthony Ward, which is Mary Hunter's grandson, and who Mr. Ward was currently staying with at this time. Mr. Ward did, in fact, have an outstanding warrant for his arrest, which was issued out of the Ohio Department of Rehabilitations, and he was entered with violent tendencies, so law enforcement caution. As Chief Windbigler exited his marked patrol car in full uniform, Mary Hunter exited her vehicle and started to approach the Butler chief, yelling and hollering at him. Mary Hunter was advised to step back and away from the chief, and Mary Hunter continued to yell at the chief. The chief approached the passenger side of the vehicle where Mr. Ward was attempting to duck down and elude being seen by law enforcement. Chief Windbigler reported multiple times for Mr. Ward to show his hands as he approached up to the passenger side of this vehicle. After multiple commands, Mr. Ward did comply, showing his hands. The chief then asked Mr. Ward to exit the vehicle and advised him of the outstanding warrants. As Ward exited the vehicle, he informed the chief that he was not going back to prison, and a scuffle ensued as he exited the vehicle. Mr. Ward was able to break free from the chief's grip and then started to run across the road away from the chief. It was about this time that my investigating officers heard the stress in Chief Windbigler's voice over the radio, so they automatically proceeded to head that direction to try to figure out what was going on. The chief took chase after Mr. Ward, yelling for him to stop, when a red vehicle passed the chief and pursued Ward into the roadway, hitting Ward with the front of the vehicle. Ward then slid off and continued to run into what they call Independence Alley, where the red vehicle attempted to prevent him from further running and struck Mr. Ward in the front passenger corner with his vehicle. This is when Ward's left leg got caught in the wheel well and was sucked under the car, where his left leg was ran over. This happened about 3 seconds roughly before my units arrived on scene to find a male laying in the alley that was injured, and the red vehicle was stopped. Now, from the time that basically Ward broke free from the grasp of Chief Windbigler till the time that he was ran over is roughly 10 to 12 seconds in video time. The operator of the red vehicle is 47-year-old Wesley Dingus of Butler and is currently their mayor. Officers started first aid on Ward and waited for the Worthington EMS to arrive. At that time, when EMS arrived, then my officers did take control of the scene, and that's when we were requested to do the investigation into what happened. Belleville units interviewed Mayor Dingus at the scene, and officers conducted second interviews with him as well. The Belleville Police Department took control of Mayor Dingus's vehicle at that time, at the scene. It was brought here for further photographs, measurements of the damage that was conducted by the hitting of the individual. So as of July 18th, being Friday, last Friday, a complete copy of the case findings have been sent to the Richland County prosecutor for review of any possible charges they wish to pursue. Questions?
So you did not file any charges at this point? It's sent
We
to the
will
prosecutor?
not file any charges out of this agency. It'll go to the Richland County prosecutor. They will be the determining factor if or any charges will be filed.
How about any, we've been asking for any body camera video?
So the body camera is, the body camera that most people are asking for is actually the Butler body camera. We can't release that. That would have to be addressed with the Village of Butler
Okay.
as their body camera.
Is there any surveillance camera?
So everyone has seen the surveillance camera that is posted all over online. That's the reason why we're not going to show it again today. It's, it's out there everywhere.
How was that footage released?
I'm assuming the owner of that building released it.
Because I know our station doesn't have access to it, so I didn't know if there was a way that you guys could release it.
So on your way out, yeah, if anyone doesn't have that actual footage, check with the front clerk on your way out. I'll make sure that she does get that out to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Chief, is it standard procedure for a mayor of a village to assist in arrests as Mayor Dingus did?
Commonly, no.
And as part of your investigation, I assume your officers, there was some sort of communication that Mayor Dingus was actually trailing this fugitive prior to police involvement?
So again, Mayor Dingus gave us the statement, the officers, the statement that he was at the Duke at the time. He was pulling out of the Duke and a male ran into the front of his car. He stated to the officers that he stopped, he realized he was in the middle of the roadway, and to prevent any further accidents, he shot down the first alley that he saw. That's when he struck the individual.
And are you familiar with, from the revised code, what arresting authorities mayors have?
So a mayor technically is the top law official in any given town.
So that you have the authority to make an arrest?
They could, under certain circumstances.
Would it be same as just a civilian?
For the most part, it would fall under, like the Good Samaritan,
Just be a
something
citizen
along those
arrest.
lines, correct?
According to law review, they don't have any more than a citizen would be saying you're under arrest.
Right.
Do you have, can we get a copy of your report, of the accident report?
So we did not do a accident report because we call it a general offense report because they're much more detailed as far as what goes in there versus a basic crash report. But yeah, you should be able to submit a request and actually get, a copy of that.
Okay, so we could do that before we go?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, and then your body camera too, because your officers were there on scene so quickly, is there any way to get copies of that?
So you can submit your request for our body cam. Now remember, it does take us a little bit of time to actually get that out. We're a small department. One person does all the redactions.
Gotcha.
So,
So would I need to submit another request for this video? I submitted one last week.
I'm sure if you let her know at the front desk on your way out what she'll just have you write it down. I'm sure that'll work and where that needs to go.
And what's the law on a mayor using pretty much lethal force with a vehicle, or are you guys still under presumption that it was an accident that he ran into him, although the video shows?
I'm not here to determine if he did it intentionally or unintentionally. We are here to provide a non-biased, fact-driven report for the Richland County prosecutor.
That incident report, can we get that today?
I'm sure with the redactions, you probably could by the end of the day.
Is there any other thing that's going to be released? Any other video?
No, there is no other
I spoke
video.
with, well, the reason I'm asking, I
So-
spoke with Butler. Butler said, everything was submitted to you guys, we have to go through you to get it.
Okay, so even if I was able to release any of Butler's body cam, I don't have, because they use a different system as far as body cams and what we use, I don't have software to do any type of redaction.
You do have the footage that was circulated online though,
Absolutely.
and that's something that we can get.
Sure.
And the injuries, I'm sorry, and the injuries for Ward are the leg, because there's been so much stuff on social media that he has other injuries, do you know?
So officers that were there indicated a broken leg. However, he was sitting up talking, things of that nature, to the officers when they were rendering first aid. Yes.
Right. I just had a question about that video that circulates on social media. You said that's probably the business owners?
It's probably the business owner was who I assume released the video
So
out there.
it's not a Village of Butler building?
So it was the old Village Hall, Butler Village Hall building. When they moved, they leased to the individual that has it now.
The editor was asking whose video is that, to get that clarified,
Right.
before we would even use it yet.
Right, yeah, that's
So
not,
it's
that's
not
not the
Village
Butler
Hall.
and Butler at all.
Thank you.
Why was there an arrest warrant out for Anthony Ward?
He absconded from his probation.
Do you know what charges he originally had?
That I do not.
And did you recommend any charges for his grandmother?
Again, we just provide everything to the Richland County prosecutor. They will go over the totality of the circumstance and everything, and they will be the ones to decide what charges who, if any.
Did the mayor and Ward have any connection? Did they know each other?
That I cannot answer. I do not know.
And do you still have the mayor's vehicle?
No. So Officer Corwin is my evidence technician here. So he brought it back basically to get further or more detailed photographs. There was damage to the right front corner of the vehicle. That way he could get crush zone, things of that nature, and actually have an accurate report for the prosecutor.
So you gave the car back then once he was done?
Correct.
Okay.
Chief, in a scenario like this, do you have like a mutual aid agreement with Butler?
So we have a mutual aid with every jurisdiction that we're in. So all the Richland County agencies we have a mutual aid with, along with Knox. Being so close to the Knox County line, we do have mutual aid with them as well.
And do you know how many officers Butler has on patrol, or is it just?
So
chief?
Butler is a part-time police department. So when their officers are on, the chief himself patrols, and he has 2 other part-time officers that work. So the hours they work or I can't answer that. I don't know.
I understand that the chief of Butler is also an officer here on Belleville, is that true?
So Chief Windbigler hasn't been in a Belleville uniform for, I'm going to say 16 to 17 years. He was listed as an auxiliary with this department because he was a commander with the state. So he taught school, he taught Homeland Security, so he had his teaching degree. So we kept him as an auxiliary on this department because of officer trainings and things like that he could provide.
And one quick question, the normal procedure, is it not that when an accident such as this, and who's involved and stuff like that, would not be turned over to like Ohio Highway Patrol, Richland County Sheriff's Office, BCI, as it, to show that?
It absolutely could be if they requested, but they requested my department handle the investigation.
Who requested?
Chief Windbigler.
At the time was Mayor Dingus, any test for,
There was no impairment signs or impairment or anything like that at the scene at the time.
but there was no test done, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Was Mr. Ward apprehended, or?
Mr. Ward was transported to Ohio Health Mansfield.
Is he still there?
That I don't know. We just literally got the medical release, or we were notified this morning that we could actually pick up his medical. So as far as the injuries or the extent of injuries, anything like that, I do not know because Med Central did not release it to us until this morning.
So is he released or is he on a parole hold or like where does he go to jail?
At this point in time, I'm sure APA probably went to get him. That's the issuing agency that, put out the warrant for his arrest.
Thank you.
And through the course of your investigation, how did the mayor know this particular individual? How was he patrolling this person?
I don't have an exact answer for that, but in a town of 500-600, it's pretty easy to know who's who and what's going on. But I don't have an exact answer for that one.
According to the 911 call from the grandmother, she said that he had been following them. Was that investigated, or was that have anything to do with it? That he was.
To the best of my knowledge, I think Mayor Dingus was going to the Duke or was in that area and spotted that individual. That's when he contacted the chief of police, which was on patrol at the time.
Now, is there a way to get I understand there was conversations between the chief and the mayor. Is there any way to get that communication?
You would have to address that with the Village of Butler.
One more quick question.
Sure.
The body cam, I requested the body cam.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 25-second video
Mm-hmm.
with the contrast turned up really far.
So the
you couldn't
contrast,
see
so the
anything.
contrast was not turned up. That was the sun shining into the body cam as my officer approached. Okay, so
But is there any more that's gonna be released on that?
we can get more body cam from my department actually released out there. There's no issue with that. I'll tell you, it's honestly pretty boring because it's them walking around talking to people. But I'll be happy to release that.
But all the other video has got to go through Butler.
Any body cam that the chief had is going to have to be addressed through the Village of Butler.
The law director or the law, whatever guy down there.
Yeah, the village
Yeah,
solicitor.
The
Okay.
village solicitor said that it had to go through you guys too. So both the chief and the solicitor said I had to get it from you guys.
Again,
So that's
that's not property of the Belleville Police Department for me to release.
But was it submitted as part of the investigation?
It is, the Richland County prosecutor does have it, yes.
And Chief, is this handled the same way you would handle any other type of crash that you've
Oh,
ever
absolutely.
had? So
Right.
there was no special privilege given to the mayor or anybody, you handled it the same way?
None whatsoever. The easiest way to kind of put it is the Village of Belleville doesn't have skin in the game. It didn't happen in our town. It wasn't my mayor, it wasn't my chief, so absolutely.
Has anyone received traffic citations as a part of this incident?
So again, we're not doing any charges. We're just simply providing a non-biased factual report for the Richland County prosecutor.
If there were to be traffic citations, would Butler issue those?
They would probably come out of the Richland County prosecutor's office itself.
And how long is this sort of an unusual case for you? I mean, how long have you had anything like this before?
We handle a variety of weird cases. Again, we're an extremely small department. My staff is highly trained, so 90% of everything stays in-house. So yeah, we come across weird stuff all the time. It's just not at this level. No further questions? All right. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day.
Dan DeRose with 19 News. As we just heard the police chief himself describe this as a weird situation, and it is. It does look like somebody has. Can't understand how somebody has a follow-up question, but let's go back.
I would tend to think so. Yeah, I know you're out of Cleveland, so the villages are roughly what, 3 miles, 4 miles apart. Yeah. So gentlemen show up, they do what they have to do, and they don't even think about what they're doing because they're just trained to handle it, you know, so.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm done now.
Okay.
Okay, now we're finished. Yeah, what turned out to be, or started as far as the information we had in this case was a strange situation, has gotten even weirder now. We had been told just that it was an employee of the village of Butler that hit this man. We now find out it was the mayor of the village of Butler who ran over Anthony Ward. Now, the way it was described, and I'm just putting this together and paraphrasing from what we just learned. So this is being handled by the Belleville police chief, called in as an independent, but this happened in the village of Butler. So it sounds like the mayor of the village of Butler, and his name is Wesley Dingus, 47 years old, he spotted this man that was wanted, and we can tell you Anthony Ward was wanted for a parole violation in 2021. Ward was convicted of sexual battery, and he was released on parole this past February. He had violated that parole. That could be any number of things. He didn't show up to his parole officer. He didn't register as a sex offender. If he has to do that, it could be any number of things. So you get the mayor in a very small town. You heard the police chief say 500-600 people, who spots this man who knows that he is wanted for a parole violation. He follows the grandmother who's driving, and Ward is in the passenger seat, but he calls the police chief. The police chief was nearby. The police chief comes and tries to pull over the grandmother and Anthony Ward. The grandmother confronts the police chief, tries to get in his way. The chief makes his way to the passenger seat, and he sees Ward ducked down. And the police chief orders him out of the car, and Ward says something to the effect that he's not going back to prison. So he starts fighting with the police chief of Butler. He is able to get away from the police chief, and as he's running, the mayor's story is that he just happened to be leaving the area and he realized he hit someone, not once, but hit him twice. The first time he hit Ward with the car, he slid off the front of the hood. The second time he hit him with the car, he actually ran over his leg. His leg gets thrown up into the wheel well and it breaks his leg. Police come, they attend to Ward. He's taken to the hospital. And that's where it ended. And the mayor of Butler gives his statement that I simply was driving out of there. I hit him once, and when I realized I was in a street, I went down the nearest alleyway I could go down. It just happened to be the alleyway that Ward started running again, and that's when he runs over a second time. Now, all of this has been investigated, happened back on July 11th, so we're talking 10 days ago. And all of the information has been gathered and is now headed to the Richland County prosecutor. They will decide if the mayor is going to get charged. Was he acting as a good Samaritan because he saw Ward fighting with the police chief? It sounds like there's an issue with body camera video, that the sun was too bright. But it's a big mess, and our reporter Katie Tursek was there asking questions. She is going to try and get a handle on this and some of that video that's out there, and she will have a report for us in our early newscast. So we're going to wrap this up. Our 11 o'clock news just about a half an hour away on Cleveland's 43, then our noon news on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News. Have a good day.